What is up, everyone? My name's Brenner. Welcome to my channel. This is Mr. Liquor Sipper. Today, as you can see, we're going to be doing a review of our Bulleit Manhattan cocktail. If you guys were here and you guys remember, I actually did a review also of the other brother, if you will, of the Bulleit old-fashioned cocktail. We did a review over that one. This is a little bit of a different type of review because of where it's coming from, because it's Bulleit. Although, that being said, we're gonna do and jump into a little bit of history, because the origins of the Manhattan cocktail itself remain pretty inconclusive and there's a lot of different theories. However, some say the dash of mystery that encompasses the Manhattan alone is kind of what draws people's attention to it. Also the taste, obviously. So if you guys are interested in a little bit of history, a little bit of whatever theories, conspiracies that go along with the Manhattan, and you guys are interested in this pre-made cocktail, then stay tuned and let's find out. Is this a sipper or a skipper? Let's go. Mr. Liquor Sipper whiskey reviews, because some of this whiskey sucks! Alright, so though the origins are a little bit loose and not everyone knows, or anyone really for that matter knows, what's really going on with the Manhattan, it's undoubtedly known that it did come out in the 1880s, and to be more exact, there was an actual article that was published in 1882 in September by the Sunday Morning Herald in Olean, New York. That's where they first mentioned this, saying that the ingredients of whiskey, vermouth, and bitters were something that were thrown into this, as well as the now known name of the drink, obviously mentioned as a Manhattan. However, other names like Jockey Club Cocktail and Turf Club Cocktail were mentioned in this ad. It seems that that created a little bit of confusion, but that is also the same, I guess, the same drink as the Manhattan as well. I can't tell you how this particular Manhattan was made, but I can tell you that there's basically two different variants or variations of the cocktail itself. And then the first variant had these ingredients in it, which were 1 pony French vermouth, 1 pony whiskey, 3 to 4 dashes of bitters, and 3 dashes of gum syrup. Gun syrup, man, that would be a shot to the throat. The second variant had these ingredients, which are 1 wine glass whiskey, 1 wine glass Italian vermouth, 2 dashes of vermouth, 2 dashes of Curacao. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. If you guys know, drop that in the comments. It's spelled C-U-R-A-C-A-O. Now later on, this recipe again will morph and evolve in Harry Johnson's 1900s bartender's manual, where the Manhattan cocktail has the following ingredients, which would be half wine glass of whiskey, half glass of vermouth, 1 dash of Curacao or absinthe, 1 to 2 dashes of orange bitters, and 1 to 2 dashes of gum syrup. Man, there I go with the gun thing again. I must be having guns on my mind or something. I don't know what that is. So all the other stuff, aside from these other, I guess, evolutions of the ingredients that were put into the Manhattan itself, the most common now, it's made with whiskey, sweet vermouth, and bitters. Now, rye is typically the traditional whiskey of choice whenever it comes to making a Manhattan, hence why they have this in their green label, because this is what they utilize as their own Bulleit bourbon rye. But they also would include like Canadian whiskeys, any type of like maybe your favorite bourbon, a blended whiskey, and then of course you have your Tennessee whiskey. Ingredients for this would be, I mean, I'm speculating here because they didn't really disclose it, but anyway, so the traditional ingredients now, we would be looking at something more of a 2-ounce rye or Canadian whiskey, 3/4 ounce of sweet red vermouth, and then a dash of Angostura bitters, and then some maraschino cherry as a garnish. Preparation, it's pretty much simple, especially with this one. So we're not going to get into preparation because I already have my half of a ball of ice here. All right, so we've talked or discussed a little bit about some of the different types of ingredients, potentially where it came from in the late 1800s. Obviously, it is labeled a Manhattan because it does, the ideals of where this came from comes from New York or Manhattan area. So we're just gonna go ahead and get my knife here and we're gonna crack this thing open, do a little pour. I already have my little ball of ice here. Oh, that'll take your finger right off. All right, hopefully that'll do it for us here. And just like the other one, you know, there's not going to be very much we need to do with this, right? I'm not going to add anything to garnish. I'm not going to add anything to this other than this ball of ice that's here. You would typically stir it up and, you know, we'll see if it meets the profile of what I think people would be looking for as far as maybe a bar-like taste that you would get. How fresh is it? Let's see. A little pour. Like I said, no garnish. I think the reason I'm not doing or adding anything to this because kind of like the other video, what I would like to see is how does it stack up if this is just the Lone Ranger, it's all by itself, you don't have anything else, and you're just in that situation where you want to have something that's a little bit different, but you don't have any cherries, you don't have anything to garnish, you have no bitters, simple syrup or any of the cube sugars that you have to mash up for whatever. That's what I did with the old fashioned. So I mean, with this one right here, what you see is what you get. Let's go to, I mean, it smells pretty typical. It's definitely more, obviously you're gonna have a scent of a more diluted rye whiskey that's in here. Already, it's not bad. It's very fresh. It actually kind of tastes like it already has a little bit of the hints of those darker cherries that are in there, almost those black cherries. It does have those sweet elements that you would want from a Manhattan, and it has a little bit of the spice. For those that are trying to figure out or compare the two between the old-fashioned and the Manhattan, there's a little bit of a difference as far as palate, right? So because this is made with the rye, it comes in at a little bit more of a spicier taste, and there's not, for this one, there's no burn. And then you have your Bulleit Old Fashioned. This is more for the sweeter profiles. That being said, surprisingly enough, this Manhattan has some decent elements about it. It doesn't taste half bad. Now, the same thing that I stated before about your Old Fashioned, there's nothing, well, unless you're just like simply in the enjoyment of the comfort of your own home, and then you are, in fact, you have all the recipes, or not the recipes, but all the ingredients for the recipe to make either one of these. But there's really not anything that's going to be able to be comparable to the setting in which you are in when you're in a bar and you have a bartender making this in front of you. There's just something about it being fresh and in the moment, and someone garnishing it and you know, is just capturing all the trimmings. It would be as if someone got the entire Thanksgiving meal and you just peeled off the top of it and you have the entire Thanksgiving meal that's right there. Oddly enough, though it can be stressful for some people, I feel like that's part of the enjoyment, right? It's kind of like the rush of everything, trying to get everything figured out for the family and enjoy that time and enjoy the meal and all the different aromas. It's part of the chaos, and I think some people enjoy part of that chaos. But that's not what this is about. So you're not going to capture the essence of that experience. What you are capturing here is something that is to be considered decent. Is it the best Manhattan I've ever had? No, but it is a good Manhattan that satisfies my taste buds. It's good for at home, it's good to chill, and just like the old fashioned that we have here, it's a good alternative and change up to some of the other whiskeys that, you know, you've just been drinking neat continuously over and over again. I don't really have anything negative to say about this. So is this a sipper or a skipper? For this one, I would definitely say it's a sipper. Again, I think it was $15.49 or $15.72, something like that, for 375 milliliters of an already made nice cocktail that captures a little bit of the essence of what you're looking for in a Manhattan. Now, if you're looking for something that's a little bit more strong and a little bit more kick to the tonsils, what you're looking for here, that's not what you're gonna find. You're just gonna find something that's a little bit more subdued because of the ingredients and everything that's been put in it. It has proofed this thing down to a 75 proof. Also states on the bottle, so it comes in at 37.5 alcohol by volume, which in reality, with everything that you're looking at and what you're getting, it's not that bad. But and I'm pretty sure these are almost the exact same. Yeah, they're the exact same proof when it comes to both of these. So at this point, it's more of a taste profile as far as what you're looking for out of these two cocktails here. Preferably, I kind of lean more towards the old fashioned, but I think that may just be a little bit of nostalgia that reaches into my life or something that just kind of makes me sway that direction. But the Manhattan's not bad either. If I had to grade this on my Glencairn cracked glasses on the sipometer, I'd say this is a 4. I would rate this as a 4. I didn't have my sipometer created yet whenever I did this one, but I agree that this one's the same. So sipometer on both of these cocktails that are pre-made. If you guys are looking for that, you're gonna have a Glencairn cracked glass of 4 out of 5. Enjoyable, nice, meets what I'm looking for as far as difference. And that's about all I got for you guys. I appreciate you guys jumping into the channel today. A little bit more calm, a little bit more subdued. I'm recording this on a Saturday. I will release this. It will be out on a Sunday, so that would be a perfect time for you guys and gals to go out there and maybe jump out. You know, you can't go wrong with it. 15 bucks. You're not breaking the bank with it. So go out, give it a try. I'm not getting paid for this bullshit, okay? I'm not in kudos, or what is it called? I'm not working with any of these brands, okay? So I'm just here to have a good time and explain my most perfect opinion, because my opinion is the only one that matters in the world. Obviously not. Alright guys, I appreciate everything. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to tell your friends, tell your homies, tell everyone in between, and kick your boss in the gonads for me, because he's more than likely an asshole and still not giving you that raise. But why don't you just give him a raise? This is a channel where we don't sip with pinkies up, we sip with the middle fingers up, because we just don't give a fuck. And thanks for jumping in the glass with me, sipping on some information. Until next time, cheers, and keep on sipping.